There's a pain that sneaks up on many of us after 50. It begins as a dull ache in the lower back, perhaps brushed off as just getting older. But then it sharpens, shooting like a bolt of electricity down the leg. It's sudden, frightening, and at times it feels as if the body you've trusted all your life has turned against you. This is sciatica, an invisible thief of sleep, mobility, and joy. Yet here's the hopeful truth. It does not have to define the rest of your life. I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Channel Wellness Blueprint Over 50. Today, we're walking together through 5 simple but powerful strategies that can reduce this pain, restore your independence, and help you reclaim the small pleasures, like walking without wincing or sitting through a grandchild's recital in comfort. Healing is possible, and it begins here with understanding. When I think of the most powerful yet underestimated tools for sciatica pain relief, stretching always comes to mind. It costs nothing, requires no prescription, and can be done in your living room without special equipment. Yet I've seen it transform the lives of countless patients. I remember Margaret, a 67-year-old retired teacher who came to me barely able to sit for 10 minutes. Her face showed the exhaustion of someone who had been battling pain for months. She feared she might never again enjoy simple walks with her husband. What turned things around for Margaret wasn't surgery or medication. It was a few minutes of gentle stretching each day. Here's why it works. Your sciatic nerve is like a busy highway running from the lower back down to your legs. When muscles around it tighten, they act like traffic jams, squeezing and irritating the nerve. Gentle stretching opens up those lanes again, easing the pressure and letting relief flow through. Think of it like unknotting a tangled garden hose. Suddenly the water, or in this case comfort, can move freely again. One stretch that helps many people is the knee to chest movement. Lying on your back, you slowly bring one knee toward your chest, holding it gently as you breathe deeply. It's not about forcing your body, but about giving your lower back permission to release. Another valuable stretch is the figure 4, where you place one ankle across the opposite knee, creating a shape like the number 4, and then ease the leg toward you. This especially targets a deep muscle in the buttock, the piriformis, which is notorious for pinching the sciatic nerve when it gets tight. Science backs this up. A study published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy found that regular stretching exercises significantly improve mobility and reduce pain for people with sciatica, especially when practiced consistently over several weeks. The key word here is consistency. Stretching once or twice won't erase months of discomfort, but small daily practices create lasting change. For older adults, safety is everything. Move slowly, listen to your body, and never bounce or force a position. Imagine stretching as a conversation with your body, not a battle. If a stretch whispers relief, stay with it. If it shouts pain, ease back. Over time, like Margaret, you may find that these small movements give you back the freedom to sit, walk, and live with less fear of that sharp, electric pain returning. Imagine your sciatic nerve as a fire alarm system. When it's irritated, it blares, sharp, relentless, demanding your attention. Heat and ice are like 2 different firefighters, each with their own specialty. One cools the flames, the other calms the smoldering embers. Knowing when to use each can mean the difference between hours of misery and moments of sweet relief. I recall James, a 72-year-old veteran who came to my clinic after months of sleepless nights. He had tried painkillers and even special cushions, but his sciatica still woke him at 3 a.m. We started with something simple, alternating heat and ice. Within weeks, James was sleeping through the night again, something he thought he'd lost forever. Cold therapy is best in the early stages of a flare-up, when inflammation is hot and angry. An ice pack wrapped in a thin towel for 10 to 15 minutes narrows blood vessels, reducing swelling and numbing the pain. It's like pressing a pause button on the nerve's alarm system, quieting its frantic signal. On the other hand, when muscles around the nerve are stiff and tense, like clenched fists, heat can work wonders. A warm compress, a heating pad on a low setting, or even a soak in a comfortably warm bath encourages blood flow and softens tight muscles. It's as if warmth whispers to your body, "You can let go now." Scientific evidence supports this. A study in the Spine Journal showed that patients who alternated heat and ice reported faster pain relief and improved mobility compared to those who relied on one therapy alone. The rhythm of cooling then warming helps break the cycle of spasm and irritation, offering a more balanced recovery. But safety is crucial. Never place ice directly on the skin. It can cause burns just as heat can if left too long. Always use a barrier, like a towel, and limit sessions to about 15 minutes. Think of these therapies as gentle allies, not weapons. They're not there to overpower your pain, but to coax your body back into balance. For people over 50, the beauty of heat and ice therapy is its simplicity. No complicated instructions, no expensive devices. Just mindful, consistent use can reduce the edge of sciatica pain, helping you regain restful sleep, easier movement, and the confidence that you're not helpless against this condition. Like James discovered, sometimes the most profound relief begins with the simplest tools. There's a hidden partner in pain that often goes unnoticed: tension. When sciatica strikes, the body tightens instinctively, as if bracing for an oncoming storm. Muscles stiffen, breathing becomes shallow, and stress hormones surge. This natural reaction, while protective in the short term, often makes the pain worse. It's as if your body is gripping the very nerve that's crying out for relief. That's why learning to breathe deeply and consciously relax can be just as powerful as any physical treatment. Let me share Maria's story. She was 64, a grandmother who loved gardening, but had been sidelined by her sciatica. When she came to see me, she said, "Dr. Brian, I feel like my body is wound up like a spring." And she was right. Every time pain flared, she tensed even more, creating a cycle of fear and discomfort. Together, we practiced simple breathing exercises. Within weeks, she noticed not only less pain, but also calmer days and better sleep. Here's the science explained simply. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural rest and repair mode. It slows the heart rate, lowers blood pressure, and signals muscles to let go. Imagine it as turning down the volume knob on your body's alarm system. Instead of shouting pain at full blast, the nervous system begins to soften its voice. A simple exercise goes like this. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and inhale slowly through your nose, letting your belly rise like a balloon. Hold for a moment, then exhale gently through your mouth, letting your belly fall. Repeat this rhythm for several minutes, focusing on the rise and fall. The beauty is that it requires no equipment, just your breath. There's also progressive muscle relaxation, where you tense each muscle group for a few seconds, then release. It's like unclenching one fist at a time until your whole body sighs with relief. Research in the Journal of Pain. Research confirms that relaxation techniques can significantly reduce perceived pain intensity, especially in older adults dealing with chronic conditions like sciatica. What Maria discovered, and what I've seen countless times, is that breathing and relaxation don't erase pain magically, but they change the way pain is experienced. It's as if the brain learns not to panic, the body learns to soften, and suddenly life feels less controlled by fear. Even 5 minutes of mindful breathing each day can help you feel more in charge of your body, rather than at the mercy of sciatica's grip. There's something profoundly healing about using your own hands, or even a simple household tool, to bring relief to your body. Self-massage may sound too simple to matter, but for sciatica, it can be the difference between a day of suffering and a day of movement. I often tell my patients, sometimes the best therapist is already with you, your own two hands. Take Robert, a 70-year-old former carpenter. Years of bending and lifting had left him with persistent sciatic pain. He felt frustrated that he couldn't work with wood anymore, a craft that had been his passion since boyhood. Instead of giving him complicated routines, I showed him how to use a tennis ball against the wall. He leaned his sore hip and lower back into the ball, slowly rolling it over tight spots. Within minutes, he felt relief. Over time, Robert told me it gave him back enough freedom to return to his workshop, even if just for an hour at a time. Why does it work? Muscles around the sciatic nerve can act like stubborn knots in a rope, pressing down and sending pain shooting down the leg. By applying gentle pressure with your hands, a tennis ball, or a foam roller, you slowly loosen those knots. It's like kneading bread dough until it softens and becomes pliable. The muscle eases, circulation improves, and the nerve finally gets a break from the constant squeeze. Science gives weight to this practice too. Studies in the Journal of Bodywork and Movement Therapies show that targeted self-massage improves blood flow, reduces muscle stiffness, and decreases nerve-related pain. The benefits aren't just physical. The act of taking charge, of not waiting passively for pain to subside, restores a sense of control and confidence. Safety is essential. Pressure should never be so intense that it causes sharp pain. Think of it as coaxing a knot to release, not forcing it. Start with gentle rolling motions for a few minutes, focusing on areas that feel tight. If your hands tire, tools like a massage cane or even a rolled-up towel can help. The beauty of self-massage is its immediacy. You don't have to schedule an appointment or wait for a prescription. Relief is literally within reach. For older adults especially, it offers independence, the power to manage your pain in the comfort of your own home. Like Robert discovered, it's not just about easing discomfort. It's about reclaiming the parts of life that sciatica once threatened to take away. One of the simplest truths about sciatica is also one of the hardest to follow. Staying in one position too long almost always makes it worse. Our bodies were never designed to sit for hours in front of a television or stand motionless at a counter. Movement is life, and when we freeze into stillness, the sciatic nerve often pays the price. I think of Ellen, a 69-year-old grandmother who adored quilting. She would spend entire afternoons bent over her sewing machine, only to find herself barely able to stand when she finally rose. Her sciatica felt like a cruel punishment for doing something she loved. When we worked together, I didn't ask her to give up quilting. Instead, I suggested she change positions every 20 to 30 minutes. Stand, stretch, walk to the kitchen for a glass of water, then return. Within weeks, her pain had lessened enough that quilting once again became a joy instead of a source of dread. Here's what happens inside the body. Prolonged sitting compresses the lower spine, stacking weight onto the discs and narrowing the space where the sciatic nerve passes. Standing for too long can strain the hips and tighten the muscles that surround the nerve. By shifting positions, you distribute the load, like rotating the tires on a car so one doesn't wear out faster than the others. Science supports this simple act. Research in occupational and environmental medicine found that adults who alternated between sitting, standing, and short walking breaks reported less back and sciatic pain than those who remained sedentary for long stretches. Even light movement improves circulation, eases muscle tension, and prevents the nerve from being trapped under constant pressure. For those over 50, it's not about running marathons. It's about weaving small, sustainable habits into daily life. Place a reminder by your chair. Stand and stretch. Use a kitchen timer or even your phone's alarm. Gentle movements, rolling the shoulders, lifting the knees a few times, or walking slowly to another room can refresh the spine and hips. And don't underestimate the power of good posture. A supportive chair cushion, an ergonomic desk setup, or simply keeping both feet flat on the ground can reduce strain significantly. What Ellen discovered and what I want for you is the freedom that comes from small changes. You don't need to abandon the activities you love. Instead, learn to move with them. Shift, stand, walk, stretch. By doing so, you teach your body that pain doesn't have to be the cost of joy. Sciatica can feel like a thief, stealing ease from your steps and peace from your nights. But it does not have to be your life story. Gentle stretching, the balance of heat and ice, mindful breathing, the healing touch of self-massage, and the wisdom of changing positions. These are not distant medical miracles. They are tools already within your reach. Healing begins with small, consistent choices, and each day you practice them, you reclaim more of your freedom. I'm Dr. Brian. Thank you for joining me on Wellness Blueprint Over 50. Stay hopeful, stay moving, and keep choosing life.